What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. So this is the Asus Zenfone 10 and this is my end of year review for 2023. And spoiler alert, this is the best compact smartphone to come out this year. But I also want to preference that this is just my opinion. Some may agree, some may not. That's okay. That's what all makes us unique. But nonetheless, I absolutely love this phone, and I want to start things off with design. I like it, but I also kind of don't. Now, the rear is a bio-based plastic that has a really nice texture, and it kind of feels like construction paper with these metal matte frames. And I like how the frames are black too. It also has a headphone jack for those who use one, and it's good to see that Asus is still sticking to it and keeping the headphone jack, USB-C on the bottom, your SIM tray right on the bottom as well, a set of speakers, and yeah, it feels really nice in the hand. But the main thing here is that it's compact. I really like the fact that it's easy for one-handed use. Now let's bring me to the front of this display, a 5.9-inch Full HD 120 Hertz display. And it only goes up to 144 Hertz with certain games. But a day-to-day use has been awesome. Absolutely love this display. The one thing I really wish was that the front-facing camera was centered right in the middle. That's okay. And it has a little bit of a thick bezel all around. Specifically, it has uneven bezels. Like the bottom chin right here is a little bit thicker than the top chin. I don't know. It looks kind of weird, but nonetheless, it has an awesome display. It's also IP68 water resistant for those who really care about that. I don't really look at the IP rating. For me, it doesn't matter too much, but it's there. IP68 water resistance. And overall, like I said, I like this design, but I also don't like this design mainly because of those bezels on the front of this display. But that's going to bring me into performance. Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 on this device is a champ, and day-to-day use has been right on point. No hiccups or bugs whatsoever. My model right here has 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, and that's not even the highest end model. And it's been able to tackle everything that I throw it at. In fact, you can pick up a model with 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage. That is, I wish I picked it up, but I'll get to it in a little bit why I didn't pick up the highest end model. But I'm still really happy with this, and I really do like this Aurora green color. Aurora, try saying that 5 times fast. I'm currently running the Android 14 beta program, which is the first major OS update for the Asus Zenfone 10. And I'm actually going to go into system right here, about. And as you can see right here, I am running Android 14. And look, it even has some specs right here as wireless charging, a 4300 milliamp hour battery, dual stereo speakers. It says 144 Hertz AMOLED, but it only works 144 Hertz with some games, with some titles. Now, only 2 major OS updates with the Asus Zenfone 10 as of right now, which means we're only going to be getting Android 14 and Android 15 with this. And I already got 1 major OS update. I'm only going to be getting Android 15 and that's it. And if you have this device, then don't expect Android 16 unless Asus says, hey, we're going to support the Zenfone 10 a little bit longer. But I hope that's one area that Asus does work on, is longer software support. I mean, for those who want to pick up a phone and use it for 4 or 5 years, software is important. And I know many people who don't switch their smartphones every year or have the opportunity to switch every couple months. And me testing phones quite frequently, I'm switching phones very often. And for me, like, I have the latest software, but if you're not, and you're not switching phones every other month, and you want to hold on to one phone for 4 or 5 years, software is important. But other than that, performance is a champ, and I can easily recommend this as being a ultimate compact powerful smartphone. That's going to lead me into the cameras, which is, I think, the weakest point of this. And it has a 50 megapixel main camera with a 13 megapixel ultra wide, and also has their 6-axis gimbal stabilizer system that Asus has kind of been touting for the Zenfone 10. I'll be honest, I never used it. I don't really record video too much. In general, I just take more photos, and the results, they're good. They're not great, and they're not going to be flagship quality, and if that's something you're looking for, then this isn't going to be it for you. But they're still really good. I've noticed that the photos are just a little bit oversaturated, and that's something I personally don't like too much. Saturation is okay, but a little too much is just not for me. But if camera quality isn't a priority for you and you rather care more about the compact size and the performance and the battery, which I'm going to get to in just a moment, then this phone's camera will suffice. And that's going to lead me into the battery life. Asus Zenfone 10. Okay, here's the thing. 4,300 milliamp hour battery, you would think it's not going to perform the greatest when you have smartphones with a 5,000, 5,400, 6,000 milliamp hour battery. Here's the thing, it's a compact smartphone, so it kind of equates to the same thing. It has awesome battery life. Awesome battery life. Most days I start my day like 6:30 a.m. and I'm ending around 10 p.m. is when I start to wind down and kind of put my phone to the side. I had 60% of battery life. 60% of battery life. It has performed really, really good. And for me, that is insane. I can go into the second day without charging this device. And on top of that, it even has wireless charging, which was something its predecessor, the Zenfone 9, didn't have. And I really wanted to pick that up last year. And for me, wireless charging personally isn't a deal breaker if it has it or not. Like the OnePlus Open I'm currently testing doesn't have wireless charging, and I don't really care. But for some reason, this kind of sparked my interest, and I know it has wireless charging, so if I ever need to wirelessly charge it, then I have that option. With battery life on the Zenfone 10, easily 2-day phone for me. And I'm a heavy user. Like, I'm using my phone for everything. I'm calling, I'm texting, I'm playing games, which I recently got back into Clash of Clans, watching lots of YouTube videos. Everything I'm doing on my phone, and at 60% of battery life at the end of the day is very good. So if you're a light user, you can easily rely on this battery life. Easily 7 to 8 hours of screen on time. Now, Zenfone 10 has 3 price configurations. The first one is 128 gigs of storage with 8 gigs of RAM for $699. Then you bump it up for extra $50, $749 for 256 gigs of storage, but the same 8 gigs of RAM. That's the model right here that I have. But if you really want to go all out with this and get the best of the best, the best, highest end compact smartphone currently on the market, well, at least that I've used, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage, $799. Now, I had mentioned in the beginning of the video, why I picked up the middle model, pretty much like the 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. That's because the shipping time for the 16 gig RAM, the highest end model, was weeks out. And I'll be honest, I was impatient. I was very impatient. I didn't want to wait weeks to get the Zenfone 10 because this was unveiled in like June and it was available like August, September of 23 in the US. And I already waited 3 months for this device to get released. I didn't want to wait any longer. But ideally, the 16 gig model would be my choice, would be my preference, but this still tackled everything I threw at it with ease. Overall, I gotta say, design is superb and compact. Display is also very awesome, and it's easily a one-handed device. This phone is blazing fast with its performance, and it makes me even more excited for the Asus Zenfone 11. Battery life is one of a kind, and I'm thrilled with the results. And I'll get back to it. I'll report back with how this performs with the Android 14 beta program. But if you're looking for a compact yet powerful phone, this is the phone to buy. And for me, this is the best compact phone of 2023. If you did enjoy this video, definitely be sure to Superman the like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel a lot. will help push my content out to more people. And definitely be sure to check out my favorite wallpaper pack. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below. It is called Nebula. Absolutely enjoy how this looks. And it definitely does support the channel out a lot. But that's been it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.